Can we see my screen, please? Can we see my screen? Can you drop an emoji if you can? Great, great. Okay. So can we see the Coriftech slide? Okay. You can say something if you can see the slide.
Yes, I can see.
Amazing, amazing. Thanks, Vera. Okay, so we did this the last time we had this meeting, which was meant to be Friday before we rescheduled for today. So I'm going to be fast, right? So Coriftech is all about transforming youth for global impact. Global impact, which is why we major on skills like data analytics and front end development and AI literacy that can position you to earn globally, right from wherever you are, right? We have alumni students who, aside from working for Nigerian firms, go ahead to work for firms abroad and earn in dollars and get well paid. So that's the vision of Coriftech Solutions, to train or transform youth for global impact. And so far we've had 10,000, over 10,000 youth trained. We've had over 6,500 youth employed, and we've had over 5 startups incubated by our alumni, right? We offer courses like data analytics, front-end development, and AI literacy, like I mentioned. And you're going to learn so much just in tonight's webinar. You're going to learn so much about data, the language of data, right? You're going to learn how how this is gone about, and the how. You're going to learn the how, and you're going to learn the earning capabilities of data analysts both in Nigeria and outside Nigeria, right? And okay, now like I mentioned during the last time we had this meeting, this is the earning potential of data analysts all over the world, right? Over $40,000, $40,000 to $60,000, and that's the average annual salary of a data analyst across the world, right? $65,000 and $90,000. And so there's a vast opportunity for data analysts. And in this age and time, it's getting even bigger and bigger, right? And at Coriftech, we have proven key results. We have 85% job placement rates, which means that 85% of our graduates, of our alumni, go on to land roles in the area that that we've trained them in, right? And we offer industry recognized certifications, certified skills in SQL and Python that employers worldwide actively seek and value in their hiring decisions. Okay, so we also, like I mentioned, offer these the front end development course that will teach you how to create beautiful interactive web experiences, and just like the data analytics course, front end developers also earn very, very well across the world, right? So I'm not going to take much of our time because we already went over this on Friday. I'm going to go ahead and read the bio of the amazing woman that will be taking us into tonight's webinar, right? So stay tuned. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now while I read her bio. Ms. Cynthia Orife is a certified Google data analyst with over 8 years of hands-on experience working with data to drive business decisions. She holds a BSc in computer science and an MSc in business computing from Birmingham University in the UK. She is also a certified business development service provider trained by Lagos Business School and certified by Smidan, with additional certification in entrepreneurial management from Lagos Business School. Beyond training and consulting, she is the convener of the Women in Tech Summit, an initiative focused on empowering women with relevant digital and tech skills for today's economy. With great joy in our hearts, let us make welcome the one, the only, Miss Cynthia Orife. Miss Cynthia, you have the floor. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Obamara, thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. How are we all doing? Apologies for
Good, good, good.
Friday. We had network issues. It was quite terrible, and we later found out it was a general problem. So we had to reschedule for today. Also, how was our Valentine? How many persons had vow? How many persons celebrated? Um,
It was dry over here. Oh, nothing. I don't see flower. Oh. I don't see flower.
at least if we don't see flour, you can eat vegetable soup, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
that's
yeah.
all
Good.
good.
I ate a goosey, so it's all good.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. How we all doing? Can you please drop on the comment section? Let me see. So we'll be doing two things. We'll be chatting on the WhatsApp group. At least that's more like it, right? So go on the WhatsApp group because I know most of you are on that WhatsApp group and just tell me, use your favorite emoji to describe your mood for today. Use your favorite emoji to describe your mood for today. Right? Use your favorite emoji to describe your moods, which I'll actually go there and see for myself. Let me see people who are excited if we have, but it's okay if you're not excited, right? Let's go. I'm actually on the group. Uh okay, all right. I can see Wamara, Vera, I can see Chris, just two persons, no other persons. Any other let's have like two more so we can proceed. Just go on the WhatsApp group and drop your favorite emoji so we can proceed. So we can proceed. Anybody? Nobody. All right, so just three persons. Okay. Um so today's class webinar, we because we really get most of our webinars are centered around questions we get from people, right? Most of like in the last webinar we have a couple of persons sending asking questions via DM, sent quite the number of messages. So we decided to say, okay, let's set up a webinar to talk about one of the pressing issues. And today we'll be looking at how to transition into data analytics without actually quitting your job. Because we understand how it is. Most persons to want to have more than one job to be able to take care of their personal needs or what they need to use money for. And one of the biggest markets to be able to do that or to guide you or to help you with such funds is data. And that has to do with the sensitivity, or it has to do with how important data actually is. Uh, you quite agree with me that now that uh, for you to make decisions, right, you need to base it on data. And a whole lot of persons, I'm sure a lot of people are filling forms. If you didn't fill yes, I filled one today. I filled one yesterday. Like every day of my life, I just have to fill one form or the other. Either I'm applying for grants or I'm applying for one thing or the other, right? And all of those data entry is being analyzed by data analysts. If you're a banker, you analyze funds, forecast, and all of that if you're into operations. So it's more like your day-to-day running so has to do with data. You want to go out to the office tomorrow or so, and you have to now check, should I go out? So there are lots of things that you base your decision on, and those are basically data. So we want to look at this strategic roadmap for career advancing when it comes to data analysis. And we need to understand that we are here, today's class is not, we're not here to for motivation, we are here for clarity, right? So I will ask questions and let me see persons who we, I need answers, right? So let me ask, how many of you here are hardworking but still feel underpaid? Do we have anybody here? Is there anyone who is quite hardworking but you feel underpaid? Okay. And how many of you here feel you're doing everything right, but your income isn't growing at the level of your efforts? Do we have anybody here? Okay. And how many of you secretly feel like if nothing changes in the next 2 to 3 years, your career might become irrelevant? And in this case, let's be honest about it. How many of us secretly feel like if nothing changes in the next 2, 3 years, my career might become irrelevant? Anybody? If nothing happens, your role will become absolute irrelevant and all of that. Okay, I'm sure in one of these three questions, we have one or two persons who have something to say in that regard. All right. So in this case, right, we have people who have jobs, who are paying bills, who have families, who feel pressure. Now, I will tell you this that over the past years, we have trained a couple of hundreds of uh, working professionals across the banking sector, the HR, the marketing operations, and also we've trained founders and also people who are in the tech field, right? And see, and that's what actually makes us different. So we specialize in helping people transition even without quitting their jobs. You get, because quitting your job without a structure is not bravery, right? So even if we want to quit your, there should be some sort of structure put in place. And when you're quitting without structure, is a risk. That is actually a risk. And you agree with me that professionals don't just gamble. So, as a professional, you don't need to gamble. What is expected of professionals to do is to transition strategically. And for you to transition strategically, you need to do that having a strategic structure or putting the right structure in place. Um, I've worked with a couple of persons. I'll give you an instance. We had a banker at some certain time during one of our training who earns 180,000, who moved into being a data analyst after the training, and as at that time was earning a row of 450 within 8 months. Now, this is possible because the person was able to align with the proper structure. We have trained and a HR executive who now build workforce dashboard for multinationals, right? You're looking at the attrition rates, why people are staying, what makes them better, how is the work environment for them. So using all of this data to help them better. And of course, a marketing officer who use campaign data to negotiate salary and also to increase without having changes, so increase to actually strategically help the company grow in that regard. Now, this is me telling you that these are no hype stories. These are just basically structures that are actually put in place. And tonight we are going to see how you can actually uh, do that well. So you're now looking at your salary is capped. So we know that salaries are being capped, right? Now, when you're looking at the executional aspect of it, you're looking at the process transaction. You want to follow compliance, post ads, coordinate workflow. Now, these are when your what's it called? When your salary is being capped. Then when you're looking at influencers, because whether you like it or not, data analysts are actually influencers, however you want to look at it. And in the course of what we are doing, by the time we are done with this, you understand that indeed, analysts, data analysts, irrespective of the sector you find yourself, you are an influencer. You're a key influencer to that organization, either SMEs, global brand, multinational, just name it. Now, being an influencer, You identify fraud patterns, you try to predict attritions, forecast return on investment, and most importantly, see how you can help the organization reduce costs, because every organization is out there to make money. And as an analyst, you're there to see how to reduce their cost to the barest minimum, and how they will run ad, let's say put an ad of maybe 100K, and they are getting a whole lot, right? More than the money that is being invested into that ads. But first, right, you need to understand something. Now, data analytics, this is not a hustle. This is not a crypto. This is not learn today and tomorrow you're earning so far. Say you're earning a 1 million naira. This skill is a leverage skill, and this is actually for you to leverage changes for income permanently, right? So you need to leverage. So it's giving you that leverage to earn more. Okay, so having understand that what we are doing right now is not just a side hustle, or you're not is not that learn today and earn tomorrow, or that um get quick rich syndrome thing. So now we need to now understand this better. Now, yes, we understand that the salary is being capped, not because you are bad, but because your role is replaceable. So, and when one thing about data analysis is, once you're good at what you do, it's almost difficult to replace your role, especially when you're good and you're giving them results. Hard work alone no longer guarantees growth, which is something you need to understand. And now companies are rewarding leverage, and the leverage today is data, because that is one of the key decisions of an organization. So I will break it down for us today, so we'll have a little bit of an understanding of what is going on here. Sorry, okay, my system. Okay. Um, so like I said, I'll break it down so that we have an understanding of what is going on. If you work in the banking sector, right, what your role or what your job is, you process transactions, you follow compliance, you execute reports. But the question is, who decides which branch to close? Who decides which products to push? Who decides fraud patterns? And your guess is as good as mine. That is the job of a data analyst, based on data to decide which brand closes, who decide the product to push, and who helps to identify the fraud patterns in that bank. Now, if you work as a HR, what your role is or what your job is, you recruit, you onboard, and you also manage data. You also manage payroll. But what going beyond all of that, right? I'll ask again, who identifies why employees are resigning? Who predicts attritions? Who analyzes workforce costs versus performance? Now, your guess is as good as mine. That is the job of an analyst, a data analyst. Now, we'll look at the aspect of of marketing, and I'll ask again. Your job, we'll call it a data marketer. Your job is to post, you run ads, you chase targets, right? But then who determines which campaign actually converts? Who measures the CAC? Who forecasts return of investment? And I'll tell you this. I know I was having a conversation with a digital marketer, I think some days back, and when we were running ads and all of that. And she said something. I need to run different categories of ads with different storytelling. And I asked her why. And she said, I need to understand and know better which of these ads convert. Now, what is she doing? She's not just doing her job by just posting and running ads, but then she has gone further to say, okay, I need to really understand which of these ads will give us return on investment, or which of these ads is actually doing better. So even when you're running your ads, you don't just run it, or you do your A and B testing and see which one does better. Now, you quite agree with me that having the knowledge of an analyst, right, is actually important. Now, I'll give you this. Even as a digital marketer, right, when you're doing your monthly report or your weekly report to the organization, you need to run some form of analysis. And that is when the organization will understand that you're actually doing your job and not just leaving it to posting and posting. So how many people followed? How many people were able to, how many sales was made through that? And if at the end of the day, you're not having these conversions or this data, then it means that there's something wrong. You need to go back to the drawing board. So you can now see that even as a digital marketer, equally the role of data analyst needs to come into play. Now, some will be asking operations, what's there to do under operations? Mind you, being an operation manager, your job is to coordinate, is to execute, and you are to manage workflow. But beyond all of that, my question is, who identify the process bottleneck? When, in the process, there are usually bottleneck challenges and all of that. Who identifies it? Who reduces the costs using data? And who predicts inventory strategy? Of course, the analyst will have to do that. So even if you're an operation manager, you need to have knowledge on how to analyze data. Like I said, every organization is there to make money, and all roles or all individuals are there to help the organization run better and also running towards making a profit margin, right? And by doing those processes, you need to analyze at every stage what you're doing in order to help the organization achieve its goal. Now, I will ask, did you see all of this pattern? This pattern that you see, execution roles are replaceable. That is something you need to understand. Decision support roles, leverage roles. So decision support roles, right? So when those decision support, they leverage on roles. So you need to equally leverage on those analyst roles. Companies protect leverage. So in other words, companies too leverage on your knowledge, your skills, and all of that to be able to achieve your goal. Now, let me ask you something. If automation increases in the next 5 years, listen, if automation increases in the next 5 years, will your routine role increase in value or decrease? I need someone to answer. In all of these things that you've understood, if the automation process you're doing increases in the next 5 years, will your routine role increases in value or decrease? I'm asking. Nobody is saying anything. Of course, it's going to increase. Now, you need to equally understand. Let's take it back to what we have on our screen. An analyst doesn't just execute, like I told you initially, they influence. And what do analysts do? They collect data, they clean data, they analyze patterns. So can you see this flow? That is what influence decision does. You collect your data, there's something called data cleaning so that you'll be able to analyze your patterns and get results based on what the organization or based on what the finding is. So you move from asking what happened to telling the business what we should do. So based on your outcome and your result, you're not telling the organization XYZ should be done for us to be able to achieve our result. So by so doing, I know I'm a proud influencer. I'm a proud data analyst. For those of you who have seen me physical, I love my job because it gives me attention. It gives me relevance. It gives me value. And when I speak, when I'm presenting, right, to board of directors, to stakeholders, to team members, everybody paused to listen. And most of the questions they have in their heart is being displayed on the dashboard, and everybody sees the result. In that way, I would say I'm a god in that field, and I help businesses grow. At least that's alone to me gives me value, gives me relevance, because I'm helping your business attain its goal through analyzing data. And now you can now see how we tend to transform your current career with data based on the previous stuff that I talked about, from the banking, processing loan, where you're predicting default trends by income, your HR, as well as operations. Now you can see that in all each of these rules, there are analytical aspects tied to it, right? In each of these roles, there are analytical aspects tied to it. Now, based on the previous question that I asked, and the answer is yes. The truth is, we already know what the answer is. But then that silent fear you feel, it's not because, it's not laziness, right? It's awareness, because it's kind of waking you up to be conscious and be aware of what is happening. You know your role is vulnerable. But here is the good news that we need to understand. You don't need to quit to be able to pivot. And that is just the honest truth. You don't need to quit to be able to pivot. What you need is structure, basically. What you need is structure. So instead of, yeah, we understand you're doing your 9 to 5 job and all of that. And so I'll give you an instance. We equally had a lady at some point who well, I would say her salary as at that time, I think this is just last year in November, October or so. Her salary was 30,000, and she needed to transition into tech. Okay, she met me a couple of times from the Women in Tech Summit, talking about data analytics, and she was working. Oh, she was even selling tire. And at the end of the day, at the end of the month, she's earning 30K. So for those of us who are ladies, I think we can relate to earning 30,000 naira as monthly salary. Being a lady, you have to take care of personal affairs and all of that. And she needed to transition into tech. And when she came for inquiry, I personally handled that inquiry that period, and she wanted to quit. And I told her, no, I would not advise you to quit. Instead, let's have a structure to all of this, so that you're learning, and at the end of the month, yes, you still have your 30K and all of that. We'll work around it. And we'll put all the necessary structure into place. November last year happened to be the Women in Tech. Was it November or December? The Women in Tech Summit. And
November.
November, right? Oh, thank you so much. The
Sorry, December 4th. December 4th.
Okay, December 4th. Yeah. So in that period, before, she was supposed to graduate in December, but as we may have it, she got a job before she even defended her project with us at Coriftech. And she's working in one of the universities as a facilitator. Now, this is a lady who doesn't even know how to press computer. This is a lady who has fear, not even sure of what will be for her tomorrow. But like we always say, and we from our organization will just tell you how it is. Most people see it as marketing, but it's just reality. That's just the reality. And I told her, by the time you finish Excel, just start applying, because we equally have jobs. There are thousands of jobs in Excel. And she kept pushing. We showed her the strategies of how to get the job. And luckily, there was an opening. And when she reached out, I told her apply. She got the job. Up to tomorrow, if I call Victoria, she'll like, I still don't believe I'm working, but she's working. Flexible timing. I think twice or three times in a week. Not more than 5 hours a day. She's facilitating. How much is the salary? 200K. From someone who is earning 30,000 to someone who is earning 200,000. So you can see how structure was put in place. She didn't quit her job because I didn't allow her to quit her job. We only put the right structure into place for her to get this job. Now, these are many more stories, right, that we've seen in the data analytics training, and we've seen lots of students having different testimonials running from all of this. But then I will tell you another good part too of when it comes to learning data analytics is you could get the job, right, probably as a salesperson, but on that sales, you're equally still analyzing data. Like I will tell you, it is a leverage. So you're leveraging on it for you to, more like, I'll call it holding the organization to ransom, in the sense that the organization would not want to, will I say, fire you, or will not want to let you go because you're giving them value. And data analytics is that one skill that it is evident. Everyone is seeing it. It is evident that you're giving value. In my organization, we have 3 data analysts. And that's to tell you how important, right, analyzing data is to your core business, or to the business, be it an SME or an organization. Mention it. It is very, very, very important. Now that we've had all of this understanding, now you need to understand that, like I said earlier on, an analyst collects data, cleans data, analyze pattern, extract insight. And by the time you're extracting all of this insight, you're communicating it to your findings to your stakeholders, or to the people who employed you, or to people who gave you that job. As a consultant, just mention it. And at the end of this, all of this, you're influencing decisions. Notice something again. They influence. They don't just execute. Why? Because they have to work on your outcome. So as a data analyst, you need to equally understand the techniques, what should be done to ensure that you clean your data properly, so that stakeholders can use your outcome, your insight for decision making. And trust me, if you clean your data wrongly, or you analyze your data wrongly, you're causing the organization more harm. So, as an analyst, you need to be very, very careful. And one good thing about analysts is they are critical thinkers. I could remember on Friday when we were having this webinar, I told Obama, this is the issue. But then, on the spot, reschedule this meeting for 7 p.m., even though she has her doubts, right? A little bit skeptical and all of that, but just reschedule. If it's important to them who register, definitely they will still reschedule, they will still plan to attend it, right? The seminar is not for the webinar is not for everybody. It's for that one person who just want to find out answer to, should I actually quit my job and learn data analysis? Should I, right? So basically that is it. So we equally have of course, when you look at the banking sector, they have high rising loan defaults. A banker will process the file, and analysts, right, in those processes where you're taking loan and all of that, the analyst decides to identify default trend by the income bracket, risk region clusters, behavioral payment, your repayment pattern plan. Sorry. All of those things, right, are being studied. Do they need to chase you before you pay? All of those steps they're doing, they are data that are being collected. Then they recommend a policy adjustment, right? And that recommendation will save $1 million. who earns more long time, the processor or the insight provider. So these are most of the things that the bank has actually looked, because they have to look at how well do you pay on time, do you default, and all of that. Now this process is still analyzing. Now I will tell you, an analyst earn more. Why? An analyst earn more. Why? Because one, they reduce costs. Two, they increase revenue. Three, they reduce risks. And four, they improve efficiency. And now when you're trying to do something, probably you're trying to reduce cost, and you hear someone say, oh, they try to manage money, they're not, this company, they like spend money. That is not the truth. You're trying to cut money by all means necessary for the organization. And that is the job of the analyst, based on the record, based on the data that you have. So it has nothing to do, okay, let's just cut, they're stingy, they know they like spend money. That is not the truth. That is not the truth, because even being a financial analyst, you're seeing the record and you just have every means to just cut down. You just have to cut it. The accountant in the office, she's an analyst. She's a financial analyst. And by the time you bring budget, she cuts and tell you XYZ is irrelevant to this set project. What is she doing? She's helping the organization save costs, because it is a business and not a charitable organization. Even charity right now are for profit, because they are cutting costs based on data. Because at the end of the day, you need to make money. So how then do you then make money? So if you're working somewhere right now, just have it at the back of your mind that businesses are there to make profits, cut costs, increase revenue, the risks involved is being reduced, and most importantly, improve efficiency. And that is the work of a data analyst. And those executive level, so more like it too, those conversations are around the executive level where they have such conversations. Now I will tell you something that has to do with the, realistically, that has to do with the money. And that has to do with the entry level of a data analyst in Nigeria. You're looking at 200, 250, 300, to equally 500,000 naira, depending on your negotiation. I have a student who his job, right, is just to work with an organization for 1 year and leaves and goes to another organization to work. And he will always tell me, Miss Saint, these people actually need me because I'm good. Apparently, he knows his onion, he understands what they ask in interviews and all of that. And I think the recent one he got, when he left Kano right now to Lagos, they're paying him 600,000 as a graduate trainee. Yes, as a graduate, because he applied as a graduate trainee. So it's for you to equally understand the industry you're going to, have your proper negotiation power, because even in our organization, we equally teach and prepare students on how to go about your interview, how to sell yourself during interviews. Now, that is for mid-level entry. That is for entry level. Then we have the mid-level entry. You're looking from 600K to at least 1.2 and thereabout, depending on your negotiating power. And of course, when it comes to the international roles, you're looking at $1,000, 1,215 to about $3,500. Now, this depending on your negotiation as well as how you're able to defend yourself during the interview. Now, this is no hype. This is reality. Now, just like what you've said. So, strategic benefit protects you from automation and open remote job, right? So you're not seeing, these are the figures you earn as a data analyst when working with organization. Now, unlike many roles, right? The skill is it compounds, right? The more problem you solve, it compounds. The more problem you solve, the more value you become, the more knowledgeable you become, the more experience you are. And that is what data analytics is all about, because at every stage you keep getting better and better and better. But here's the most important mindset shift. This is not, like I always tell people, it is not a side hustle. This data analytics is a leverage skill, right? A skill that one works in any industry, makes you decision relevant, protects you from automation, open remote job opportunities if you're open to it. I've seen people who, of course, are not looking for remote jobs, but they just want to get to the office physical and work. Reasons best known to them, right? So it's what is good for the goose is good for the gander. So everyone have their different varieties, of course, what they like. Now, I will tell you in all honesty. Can anybody hear me?
I can hear you, ma.
Yes,
No.
yes, I can. I can hear
Yes, I
you.
can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I'll tell you in all honesty. The question is, would you rather be the person executes instruction or the person influencing decision? Would you want to be that person that executes instruction or the person that influences decision? Any question. Let me get an answer. Would you rather be person executing instruction or the person influencing decision? Can you just
I
unmute
want to
us?
influence decision. No. I want to influence decision.
Influence decision. I would like that.
Because the truth is, however you want to like it, there's nothing being said. Each and every one of us, we love, even me, I won't lie to you. We love that, oh, they use my decision. Oh, they use my idea. And all of that, even if you don't bring it out to the open, right? But somehow it was your decision that is working. So to me, influencing decision is the place. And that is what data analytics does. Right? That's the beautiful part about it. If not be me, the office go grow. You know, that kind of silly, you're just being, what's that word again? I can't remember that word. You're trying to be trivial. Thank you very much. Trying to be too petty. But then again, it is what it is, right? Like I tell you something. I love data analytics because it gives me attention. I'm a woman, I love attention. When I teach here, they listen. Right? And every other person, it's in everybody who is doing data analytics, especially when you're done and you're trying to apply it into real life, because it's figures, because it's data. People want to hear you talk and dish out how give us results so that we work on. So it's good to be at that point where you influence decision. So now I will go to the steps that talks about the framework. So step-by-step approach. I want to talk about the step-by-step approach. Now note, we are moving for, this is not inspiration. This is execution. For me, motivation without structure is more like I'm just entertaining people. It just looks like entertainment. And the truth is, we are not here to be entertained. We are here to see how we can transition into tech, into data analysis, of course, without quitting our job. Now, I would say first step. Now, for the first step, you have to decide that this is actually a shit skill. Like, it is not a career gamble, right? So before you open your Excel, before you watch one tutorial, you must make a decision. You are not trying data analytics. You are not building, you are actually building a professional skills. Now, that is the difference. You are not trying it. I just want to try. No, you are building a professional skill. That's what you need to understand. Trying it, when we are talking about trying, you're making it look like is you're making it be emotional, which of course that's not the case because this is a serious thing. Building is more structural. Building is more structure. And now I will ask this. Am I or are you actually experimenting, or you want to upgrade your professional value? Do you want to experiment, or you want to upgrade your professional value?
I want to upgrade.
Because, of course, if you're upgrading, you actually know how to treat what you're doing, take it more serious, and actually leverage on the structure. Now, I will talk about what most persons are actually waiting to hear. Understand what employers are actually looking for. Sorry, let me see my screen. I know. Understanding what employers are looking for. Some of us are working. No, some of us on this call are working. Now, the question is, what are employers actually looking for? The truth is, employers are not looking for your certificates. Employers are not looking for your 50 or 100 tools that you use. Employers are not looking for your random projects. But there are actually 5 things, and I'll say that there are actually 5 things employers are looking for. And if you tend to master these 5 things, right, you will be employable. 1, problem-solving skills. Employers do not want certificates. What they want is competence. And these are the 5 pillars of employability. Problem solving, problem thinking. Employer would definitely, some employer or basic employer will ask, can this person think with data? Of course, the data is there for you to think with data. That means you're analyzing it to be able to get results. So when you're talking about, so if you're in the banking sector, the employer is looking at if loan defaults increases, can you actually analyze the trend and suggest why? Or probably if you're into the HR area, if staff turnover increases, can you identify those patterns? And of course, if you're a digital marketer, when you know that the ads are not converting, can you diagnose the funnel and find out what went wrong? The truth is, tools don't actually impress employers. Thinking does, right? So when it comes to problem solving, when it comes to problem solving thinking, right? Can you diagnose why ads are not running or why they are not converted? Can you be able to answer, give answers to the whys attached to all of those questions? 2, practical tool competence. Now, because you're in the field of data analytics, they expect proficiency in Excel, how to use advanced formulas, pivot table. Then when you're talking about SQL, from basic to intermediate querying, of course, intermediate, of course. Then Power BI, when you're looking at dashboarding. Of course, just basic statistics, understanding, and not in depth, just by the surface. But the one thing you need to understand is, in all of this, right, you don't need to master everything. What you need to just have at the end of all of this tool is competence. To be able to use your Excel, Power BI, just competence, just know how to use it. Now, the third one, we are looking at communication. Now, most people don't really understand. This is where most persons actually fall. I'm speaking from the fact of being an employer. Again, can you actually translate numbers into business languages? Can you be able to, when you see something and when you analyze it and you're like, the regression coefficient is probably to indicate XYZ. Instead, you're just speaking the whole grammar when as a data analyst, you should be dealing with figures. And you can just tell your boss and say, if we reduce this discount rate by 5%, profit should increase by 12%. You're exact, you're precise, you're working with numbers. I am seeing it. I am seeing it. I can remember at some point, there was a time I had meeting with the digital marketer, like, okay, if we have XYZ, and she was like, okay, if we have XYZ, like say 500%, we should be able to do at least run a conversion of 10%. Now that's precise. That's you knowing what you want to do. That's knowing how to go about working with data. And when such thing doesn't happen, then you need to then go back to start asking why. And at that point too, the data marketer is not concerned to like find out what is really happening. Should we go to the status quo and find out why? So you need to just be precise about what you're doing. It has nothing to do with it. They are not even, funny enough, they are not interested in the formulas you use to analyze your data. What they're interested, just give us results. I don't want to know if you use summation, addition, subtraction, whatever you use, give us the results. And the fourth one is portfolio evidence. Every employer wants proof. Not, oh, I completed a course. No. They want to see case studies. They want to see your dashboard. They want to see business insights. They want to see, oh, it was like this before, and when I applied it, this is the result we have. No one is willing and ready to say, oh, I did one tutorial. No. Case studies, not just completing, oh, we'll just complete and we'll just go to LinkedIn and put on the badge. No. If you're a data analyst, let me go to your page and see you analyzing or talk about something about data analysis, but just be something. There's just something to just show that this is what you do. And most importantly, so now you understand what employers are looking for, right? Most importantly, I would say consistency and professionalism. Are you reliable? Can you meet deadlines? Do you present clear work? Sometimes you don't even understand when at the executive levels, decisions are being made, and at that executive level, we are saying from day 1 to day 2, we must achieve this. And they keep hitting on you to execute it. That's because decision has been made. So at this point, you need to be consistent and be more professional. So when you're being told a certain thing needs to be done this by, let's say, 18th of Valentine, or no, 18th of February and all of that, ensure even before then, you've been able to achieve it, so that if there's a little bit of error, the next day before submission, you are able to fix all of those errors. Timely, consistency, and professionalism. So you need to equally see how you are, how reliable you can be, and also dependable. Dependable, you're looking at how you can equally take initiative, because to be honest with you, right, most often at times, employers do equally employ you to be dependable, to be reliable, and more, of course, to come up with initiative. Now, there's something you equally need to note. Is a symbiotic learning or a symbiotic process. They are gaining and you are gaining, because at the end of the day, the knowledge you learned in this process, right, cannot be taken. So even when you live with it. So that is why consistency and your professionalism is very key. Now, I'll ask you this. If you focus on these 5 things for the next 6 months on your own, would you be employable? Would you be employable? Nobody is saying anything. Am I the only
Yes,
one?
I will be.
So when we look at this thing now, aside data analytics look at all of this thing 1, 2, 3 to number 1 to 4. How many do you think you have? So you can say 2/5, 3/5. Just put it on the WhatsApp group. Let me see. I'm 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, 5/5. So put it on the WhatsApp group. I want to see how many of us are 1/5, 2/5, 3/5, and please kindly mute your mic. Thank you so much. I want to see how many of us are 1/5, 2/5 on the WhatsApp group. Let's see. It's okay. I'm not using this against anybody. You don't know me. I don't know you. You get, so I'm not using this against anybody. So we have 2/5. Okay. Any other person? We are saying 3/5. Any other person? Oh, 3/5. So it's fine and good, right? But then at the end of it, like I said, we're not here to judge anybody, right? There's room for improvements. Yes, actually room for improvement. Look at the ones you don't have, right? And this is not just related to just data analytics, but I'll tell you these are the things, irrespective of it, these are what employers are looking for. Look at the things you know you don't have and build over time. Build on it, right? Just see how we're all working in progress, right? We all keep working on ourselves to get better and all of that. So look at all of that and see how you can work on yourself. Okay, so having said that, it's one thing for us to teach, right? And it's another thing for you to, what's it called? To have your own plan. There's a roadmap towards even where you're not putting your job, you want to transition into, so that's still part of it. Now, the other steps you're looking at is the 6 to 8 month working professional. That is your plan. Now, this is where we need to get practical. You are employed, you are busy. So how do you then transition, right? It's a gradual thing. There are people who, as they're finishing, they're getting the job. The 5 fingers are not equal, which we need to understand that. But in the month, between 8 months, being consistency at doing the right thing, you will get a job. That one is not, I'm not just hyping. It's just the process, right? So you're not looking at the first one between month 1 to 2. You're looking at practicing 3 times per week, having your own timing section, like you plan your own time, either in the mornings or evening. You learn your Excel advanced, data cleaning, and all of that. This is why your class is still going on, or probably after your classes, right? Now, this is the roadmap. Then on the other 3 to 4 months, you're focusing on your Power BI, your SQL, where you're building realistic dashboard, sales, financial sales, HR attritions, and the rest of them. Now, these are just the roadmap. Now, within 5 to 6 months, right, you're having your portfolio and your experience. So your portfolio is more like things that you have done over the years, over the period, right? Now, in this case, you use your current job, probably a banker, analyze performance, either you're HR, analyze the recruitment process, whether you're a marketing person, you're analyzing the campaign return of investment. If you're in operations, you're looking at the turnaround of time. If you're a business owner, you want to analyze the revenue trends in your workplace, you get. These are all the things you put as your portfolio. Now, so when you do all of these things, right, this removes the no experience problem. When you have your portfolio, you're working on different projects. It removes the fact that says you don't have experience because you're practicing. So definitely you're having case studies. So it means that you have the experience. And that is what this portfolio section does for you. But for your month 7 to 8, you're now looking at how to strategically position for the job, strategic job positioning, right? Now, what do? You're updating your LinkedIn, repositioning your CV, applying intentional, network with analysts, attend webinars, attend jobs, meet people, not mass application. Avoid mass application. Your position is being targeted. Now, if you follow through this process, would quitting your job at that time be necessary? No. If you follow through this process, quitting your job won't be necessary. Now, I'll tell you this. Time management strategy for busy professionals. We understand, right? We understand how it is for professionals. The thing is, you don't lack time. What one lack is the structured priority. How do I structure it? We'll have people who Netflix, they watch for 1 hour, they scroll through their phone for 2 hours. You get 3 focus section is actually enough. So depending on how you just plan your timing, you're seeing your 3 sections, that these are just the calculation. Over 6 months, you have all of this. If you're able to do that, trust me, you're able to have that skill, and transitioning won't be a difficult thing. But I'll tell you this. There are mistakes to avoid. Jumping tools randomly, buying 10 courses, waiting for motivation. Sorry, I don't really do motivation. So I really don't do motivation. I only tell you how it is. And if I don't know, I'll tell you I don't know. Yes. It's better for you to ask me a question. I'll practically tell you I don't know, than me to start formulating something to make you feel good when I don't even know the answer. And trust me, it's okay to know. It's okay to say you don't know. Sometimes even the teachers, we don't even know everything. I equally still learn from students. So it's okay for us to say we don't know. Now, like I said, mistakes to avoid. Jumping tools randomly. Today I use this, tomorrow I'm using this, so and all of that. Avoid buying 10 courses randomly. Waiting for motivation. That is not it. Quitting too early. Yes, we understand that sometimes it might just be somehow, right? But trust me, quitting is not an option. Learning without building project. When you're learning, you need to learn with building project, and that's when you're having case studies, scenarios, and all of that. And which have sometimes, one of the biggest mistake we make is doing it alone. When you're learning groups, have an accountability partner. When you have an accountability partner, it makes it a healthy competition between both of you. I learned this, oh, you learned it, okay, and all of that. Now, realities, at some point there needs to be reality check, whether you like it or not. Why do most people fail? Now, I'll tell you this. YouTube feels productive, true, but it is not structured. Yes, there are videos on YouTube. Sometimes it creates confusion. Sometimes you're even overwhelmed. And at some point, there's inconsistency because you can't even go back to them to say you want to ask questions. But what we actually need as a professional is 1, roadmap, 2, mentorship, the feedback, the deadlines, having the community, having the right communities. Now, I will tell you this. You're no longer that person that executes instruction. You are that person that identifies that pattern based on budget to increase profit by this. Now, this is what the life of an analyst actually looks like. Please kindly mute your mic. Thank you so much. And like I always tell you, why most people fail to transition alone? Not so good. When you're using YouTube, you get trapped, you're confused, you're overwhelmed. No roadmap, no mentorship, no deadlines, no accountability. How do I forge from there? Excitement fails, but the truth is when there's a structure, it helps sustain you and you have a secured path. Now, we have Coriftech. So, like I said in my what's it called previously, not what is what a professional actually needs. You're looking at the roadmap, you're looking at mentorship, you're looking at feedback, you're looking at deadlines, and you're looking at community and what's it called? What's the other word? Accountability. Now, so I'll tell you this. We've seen cases where students have trained with us and they've seen job of 4 years, 3 years. Now, being with us as students helps to eliminate that gap. And the question is how or why? Now, if you're a student with us and you see, because definitely when it comes to 8 years experience, we'll tell you to apply. And of course, we are more like 8 years in business. So is it 8 or 9? 8 years, there are about 8, 9 years in business, teaching this course, data analytics. So being a student with us helps to eliminate all of those gaps. And what we'll do is, when you see the job you apply, now, those periods whereby you're a student, right? You're not applying, it's not going to cap, you're not applying as, because once you apply, they'll reach out to us to want to confirm if all of these things. And we'll tell them you're not a student with us, you're actually a staff. And that's why most times when you're a student with us, we'll tell you when you're posting on your social media, especially LinkedIn, yes, of course, is your classwork, is a scenario project and all of that. But when you're putting your reporting on social media, because that's your digital footprint, you're doing it like you're working with us. So even when they reach out to us, we give evidence that this person is not a student, but has worked with us. And there's reason why you left. Because even when they reach out to us, they will really want to know why you left. And we give them reasons why you left. So at that point of, oh, I saw a 3 years experience, blah, 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 blah. We come in, we stand in that gap to eliminate those 3 years experience when they write to us for confirmation, because they do write to us to say 1 or 2 things about you and all of that. So this is one thing that Coriftech has been doing over the years, and that is why we beat our chest to tell you that our student is 65%, right, get the job when it comes to data analytics. So we'll have a practical, but probably before that practical, I will tell us this. We understand that most of the persons on this course, some are working and all of that. So what we intend to do is we have a, what's it called? We have a weekend class every Saturday. Now, it's a 6-week structured program with all of the things that we've itemized, right? I'll come to the question and answer part, and we'll have one case study to do so that we just have a look at what analysis look like instead of just having story, right? Now, we have a 6-week structured program, which is starting, of course, on the 28th of February with an onboarding section. Now, real life projects, right? You're having your portfolio, your mentorship section, accountability, and also career positioning. So what we do is we have the recording sections where you will watch, but then every Saturday, that's 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, we have a classwork we all do together. So you watch the videos. If you have your question coming into class on Saturday, we'll do our class assessment, classwork. You have to share your screen if you have challenges. That is what we do on a Saturday. And on Sunday too, a new video is being uploaded into the Google Classroom where you use the entire week to watch, especially those of us who are doing 9 to 5. Once we come back from work, we can just watch those videos, but ensure that it's being watched so that when we're having our class on Saturday, we are all on the same page. Now, this is putting everybody into consideration because we understand the busy week, how it is for us who are working and all of that. Now, you can now see that we are equally putting you into consideration on how not to quit your job even while you're learning this. So basically, this is what we are doing. And of course, we are doing a 50% discount. This cost is 400K, while we are doing a 50% discount, which is 200,000. Amara, please kindly drop the form on the group. Please, if you're interested, right, let's walk you through the hand. And classes starts 25th of February. Of course, there is installment payment. You can decide to pay maybe drop 15,000 or 100,000, but before the class ends, it's a 6-week class. Before the class ends, you must have completed your payment, right? Now, this is what I'll tell you. People will be asking, what's the return of investment? So your tuition fee is, you're paying, of course, 200,000, which of course this can be recovered in less than 2 months with the standard of when you get the job, depending, like we are working with a minimum salary of 150K. So in 3 months, in 2 months rather, you've been able to recover your what's it called? Your return of investment on this, right? Now you're looking at no technical. Excel is actually logic, not engineering. Fear failure. What we are doing here is structure to prevent failure. Cost of waiting, stagnation for more than 2 years. So cost of waiting, that's the analysis. Stagnation for more than 2 years is equal to loss of income plus automation rates, right? This is what we are having. And one of the things that differentiate all of this is the difference is just decision. So 5 years from now, will you either say, I am glad or I upgraded when I did, or I wish I started earlier? We'll be hearing this comment. It's all something we are used to. And by the time they come to make this, maybe make payment or make inquiry, the cost has actually gone up. But now for professionals, this is it. And enrollment is limited, so that we'll be able to work with the cohort that we have and guide them through the process. Now, like I said, classes onboarding section is February 18, and I'll be going to be your yours truly is going to handhold you to the very end, 6 weeks, right? So basically that is it. Please drop the link in the message so that we will have people who will indicate interest. And if anything goes beyond 1st of March, it means that the cost goes up for the usual price, which is 400,000 naira. But like I said, you can actually make deposits. When you make deposits, there's a number there in the form where you can send proof of payment to, and you'll be added to the group. Now, let's do something. I want us to do a little bit of a small practical. Can anybody see my screen? Let me see if I can push it a little. Can anybody see my screen? Please hope I'm not the only one in this class.
No, man, thank you.
can see the screen clearly.
No, man, I see your screen, and you're not the only one in this class.
Oh, thank you so much. Okay, so there's something. So we just have a little practical to do today, and so this is the data we have. You've gotten data. You've gotten the December 2022 insurance data from both the marketing team and the operations team. Now, so you are required to reconcile both data and identify discrepancy if there's any discrepancy. Now, if you look at this part, this is one data, and this is talking about from the marketing team. Then if we look at this part, we have December 2022 insurance data from operation team. Now, can anybody tell me what you notice? If you can see clearly, if there's anything, if these two things, these two data, that is the marketing data and the operation data, if there's anything different, because this is the marketing, this is the operation data, and this is the marketing data. Look at it. If anybody sees anything, please just unmute yourself and speak. If anyone sees anything, please unmute yourself.
The operation data is so jam-packed. There is no column. It's not arranged very well in columns.
Okay. Any other person, please? Any other person?
Yes, my data something is merged, and the cells are merged.
Okay. Any other person?
Marketing team
So,
has data separated in folder.
sorry, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I can't hear. Yeah, I can hear you now.
So I think the marketing team has the data separated in different things, in different categories. While for the operations, they don't have anything.
Okay. All right. No problem. Thank you so much. Please, everyone should kindly mute. Thank you. So if you look at this, this is well prepared. At least everything is well spelled out. And if you look at this data, It's just somehow for us not to be able to read it. Now, as a data analyst, right, once data is being given to you, you need to look at it critically. Now, if you remember when we were talking, we'll say a data analyst collect data and cleans data, right? So in the course of learning data analytics, we'll show you the step. But because this is a practical thing, we want to clean this data. Now, for us to be able to clean this data, if you look at it carefully, you will notice that there is full stop in between all of them, in between each word, right? There's full stop in between them. Okay, so for us to be able to do that and ensure that everything is in each column stands on its own, what we need to do is, first of all, highlight it, Control Shift arrow downward. Now we've done that. Go to your data, click on your data. Now you're coming to text to colon. Click on text to colon. So we are select, it's already unlimited. We click on next. For those of us who have questions, please, after the practical section, we can all ask our questions, please. Now, the delimited is asking, so what this means is you look at all of these words. What is actually separating each word from each? What is separating each word from each word? Can you say anything separating? Thank you so much. Full stop. So we don't really have that full stop in this option. So we are going to click on other and just type in our full stop. So you can see that when we typed in our full stop, it has actually spread it out for us. I will click on next. Now, this answer that is being displayed here, where do I want it to be? I will then come to this designation. There's an arrow here, this arrow. Click on the arrow. Now, where do I want my answer to be? I want my answer to be here. So I select this cell, come back to this tiny arrow. Don't worry, you have the videos, please, to this recording. Come back to this tiny arrow, click on it, and click on finish. If you look at it, we now have it just the same way it is over here. So what I'm going to do is, I'll just copy this. Sorry, I'll just copy this headline. Control copy. And I will paste it here. Okay, so I have pasted it. Now, we'll look at it again. This date is not dating very well, right? This doesn't look like a date, just as we have it over here. So remember, what we are doing right now is data cleaning. So I need to clean these dates. What I need to do is Control Shift downward arrow. I'll press my Control key, my Shift key, and my downward arrow key. Then I need to go back, click on my home. When I click on my home, I come under this number. There's a down arrow here. Click it. And I'll click on any of the dates. I'll click on short dates. Now, why it is showing this hash stuff you're saying is because the cell is too tiny to contain it. So what we need to do, we need to expand it. So by expanding, you can just either you double click it here. You can see that my cursor has changed. Click on this place and drag. You can see that the date is here. Now we are good with it. Can anybody look at it again and tell me? Let me open it very well. I'm coming. So look at this. I'm coming. Let me open it. So look at this data, right? I'm coming. Let me push it. Let me bring it closer. I'm bringing it closer. Okay, I think this is good. All right, so we can now see very well. So look at this data. That is the one for the marketing team and that of the operational team. Look at it very well and tell me if there's anything you want us to work about or anything that is not looking okay. If you can see it, just unmute yourself and speak. Look at the two data, marketing and operations. Look at it very well.
And the needs of the client,
Figures.
operation team.
I didn't get you.
The figures, that is the amount. Money.
Okay. Okay, the
The
figures. Okay, all right.
premium,
So
there
let's
is
go.
all the market on there.
Okay, just hold on. Let's work
What
with the
is common?
figures. Then we cannot take any other observation. Kindly mute your mic. Thank you so much. So right now, we are looking at the premium, right? So the premium on operation is different from the premium of marketing. So what we need to do, most people don't even know. For me, it's always difficult for me reading figures without the comma. So what I will do is I will highlight it, Control Shift downward arrow, I select it. Then I will come down to my comma just to put in this comma, and I'll click it. Still on still, so that place is still tiny. All I need to do is just hover my mouse here and just double click. Now I have double clicked. So our amount for premium under marketing team and our amount under operation team are the same. Now look at it again, look at these two data and tell me if that we are good to go. Look at it again.
Okay, for me, I'm observing the names for the clients.
Then
The
the
names
name,
like
the
this one.
client name.
All right,
Some of
thank
them
you.
are, some of the letters are in capital letter, some
All right.
are in small letter. Like
Okay.
it's not arranged.
All right, thank you. Please, everybody should mute. Thank you so much. Which your observation are actually correct. Now, we can then decide, like I told you, all the steps we are doing, we are data cleaning, right? It's okay for us to leave it this way, but it doesn't really make sense when you're presenting it. Some letters are capital letter, just in between is mixed. So what we need to do is we'll clean that one to have a proper name just like it is. So I need to introduce a cell. So I have introduced. Now, there's something called proper. There's a function called proper. And I'll click equal to proper. I'll type in proper. Proper. Right? So if you look at my argument, it's saying text. So I need to select the text. I'll select the text and click on enter. Now, if you cannot see, they will now have the first name, first letter, capital letter, the second name, the first letter, capital letter. Now I need to autofill it by. So if you by autofilling. So if you take your mouse here, there's a tiny dot here. And once I hover my mouse over, it changes. So look at the tiny dot, and I hover my mouse. I can just double click. Hold on. I double click, and it populates it for me. So it has populated it for me. Now, notice something. If I copy this name, Control Shift downward arrow, if I copy this name, copy, and I paste it, it's not pasting at all. So what it means is this cell, this place is what is called calculated value. So I need to remove the formula that was used. So all I need to do is this. I will highlight it again, Control Shift downward arrow. I will copy it. And I want it to come back to this place. Now remember, before I copy it, look at something. By the time I select the cell, right? If you go to my formula bar, you're seeing the calculations on it. And that is why you cannot paste it, because there's a calculation on that field. But right now, I just want to take off the calculation so that I can make use of the data. So I highlight it, Control Shift downward arrow, and I copy. I actually want to paste it here. So what I need to do is come to my paste, right? Come to this paste special. Now there are different options. The only thing I want from that is I just want to copy, paste only the value. By the time I click on value and I click on OK. Now, if you look at this right now, by the time I select this, you can now see only the name. It doesn't come with the formula. Unlike the previous fields that comes with the formula. So it is safe for me to now delete this. And we are good to go. So let's look at it again. Are we good right now? Let's look at it again. Are we good? Let's look at it again. If we are good, just say we are good so we can proceed. Just look at it. Are we good? Is there anything that needs to be worked on?
Okay. I don't know if it's compulsory, but I think the headers for the marketing team has data, something like data drop down event and stuff.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So let's go. So we are going to add our filter. Let's add our filter to it. So adding our filter, we come down here to this sort and filter. There's a drop down arrow. Select it. I'll uncheck the filter again. Go back and select it. So let me just do it for the two because let me just do it for the two. Let me just do it for the two. So I'll just do it together. I'll select it, now come back and I'll select it. So we now have both places now having filter. Can we look at it again? Are we good to go?
Yeah, I think we are good to go.
Okay, so if you now look at it, the marketing team and also the operation team, we have the same data. But let's go back to what we were told. You have gotten the December 2022 insurance data from both the marketing team and operation team, which is what we have. You are required to reconcile both data and identify any discrepancy if there is any. So the question is, how do we identify any discrepancy? So we need to now compare. Please mute your mic. Thank you so much. We need to compare. So let's compare base. Let's start with the dates. We'll now say equal to the date here, right? Is it equal to the date here? Select it and click on enter. So having that, we'll now click on true. So everything here we are saying is true. The next one is, let's go to ID. ID. Now, we'll start with equal to the ID here. Is it equal to the ID here? So what that means is we're asking the ID here, is this the same as the ID on the other table? So the ID on operation, is it the same as the ID on marketing? Then we'll go back and do if it's true. Okay, so we have true. Then we'll come to the clients. Clients. And we say equal to the client here. So we are just checking, right, for discrepancies. The client on operation, is it the same as the client here? So we'll double click. All right. Then we'll now go again for which one now? Type. We'll check for type. And we'll say equal to our type on operation team. Is it equal to the type on marketing team? I will say, okay, so we are now seeing true. So basically, there's not even discrepancies. Okay, so we are seeing true. So we'll go to premium I will say equal to the premium here. Is it equal to the premium here? I will click on enter. Okay. Are we noticing anything?
Yes, there is a false.
Did anybody see that?
Yes, I've seen two. Is it two false?
Okay, you've seen two. So what do you think is happening?
They are different.
Yeah, so now that you know that you are seeing false, let me go. What do you think happened? I want to put a filter to that point, that place, so that we can. I want to filter. I want to have that arrow again so that I just extended it. So this is where we are, right? So we are seeing true or false. So let's remove, let's see only the true. Aha. So there are discrepancies. What do you think happened? Who is correct? Who is not correct? So it all means that, so apparently these two departments are supposed to have the same record based off of the organization structure and operations. But for some reason, there is discrepancy. So let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. We'll copy, control copy, we'll copy and paste, right? Then what else again? The amount. Control shift downward. We're analyzing already. Oh, we're pasting. So this is for marketing. Your job at this point, you're only called to check if there are discrepancies, and you have actually seen. Control copy, control paste, and this is what operations. All right, so let's do something. Now we are just playing with our data. Let's do a total and see what is actually going on here. Let's sum up equal to sum, highlight, control shift downward, click on enter, then come down here, equal to, you sum it, control shift downward arrow. All right, so if you look at this, the total of marketing is 1.5, while for operation is 1.4. Now, your own job is just to analyze based off of your observation. Now, we say we want to find out the difference. Difference equals to this minus this. Oh my God. So there's something not adding up. So we have a 52,200 and something difference among all of this. Now, based off your analysis, based on so dependent, just oh, sorry, to not enter. Sorry. Is of 52,299 naira. So you just have to put all of this analysis, right? You now put a detailed report, attach it to this, right? And send to the organization. Now, what the organization will do to this department is no longer your business, because probably at some point the team lead or the business owner knows that the people, there's discrepancies, right? So all of what you just did, you have reconciled the account and you notice that there's a short of this money. You can then decide to say, okay, let me trace further and find out again how much each was deducted. Go out of your way to find out. You're just going further just to help the organization, right? Go out of your way to find out how it was actually deducted. Equal to this minus this.
You can just drag it down.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I do. Thank you so much for that. So we currently have some data analysis here. That's the relative, right? Thank you. Okay, so now we've been able to see and so this is what we have. So you do your analysis, do your reports, and send to the organization, and thereafter they do what they need to do. Now, when I say we influence decisions and all of that, now you can now say, so there are different ways to which we analyze data. Some of us are used to saying, what's it called? Dashboards and all of that. But here, we are here to detect fraud. We are here to detect discrepancies and all of that. So this is where we'll stop for today's little practical, just to show us a synopsis of what the entire classes is. And by the end of your 6 weeks course, you are looking at having at least 6 dashboards to show reporters, and we're going to guide you on how to go about it. Now, from my classes, the earlier presentation down to this, I am open to questions. So we now finally talk better. So questions. Questions, please. Questions. I don't even know this class. Anyway. Hello. Please, can anybody
Hi.
hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Okay, just to be sure, the program is for 6 weeks. I heard you say something about 6 weeks.
Yeah, 6 weeks, please.
Oh,
6 weeks. Weekends. It's a weekend class, 6 weeks. So what we'll do is we'll upload the recording videos into the Google Classroom. Then we'll upload it on Sunday. So you can watch it throughout from Sunday to whenever. But on Saturday, we have a live class, just like what we're having now. So in that process, probably watch it, you had issues, I do know how to go about it. On Friday, you share your screen, we'll help you resolve and answer your question. Then we'll have a live class, so of what's it called, a classwork. Live class where I am doing and you are doing. Do you get it? So as I'm applying, why I'm actually rushing this one because of the time. Usually as I'm clicking, you're expected to click. You get, but for the sake of practical, this is a ball. During your live class, as I'm highlighting, you are highlighting. That's how it works.
okay, Saint, I have another question to ask you.
Yes, please.
Okay, so I heard you say there's a discount currently and it's 50%, and you mentioned 200K. Is it after the 50% has been taken off, then 200K, or?
Yeah, usually the
50%
class,
off?
the cost is usually 400K, but we are doing a 50% discount. Basically, for only those who attended the webinar. So even if you don't attend the webinar, right, you are not entitled to the 50% discount. So the 50% discount is more of 200K. But if I make it, we have installment payment that people will still just, okay, let me just drop 50K. But then the thing is, before your class ends, right, you must have completed your what's it called? You must have completed your payment. You've done all your project, because there's going to be project as well, right? Before we only issue a certificate at the end of it.
Okay, thank you. I
My
get it
friend,
now.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
You said that the class is 6 weeks.
Yes,
Is
please.
6 weeks like, is it the complete class? Like after the 6 week, the person is done with data analysis, or
Now,
is he an? I want to know.
so class is 6 weeks, right? We'll train you for 6 weeks. But then again, there's also a mentorship section where you can be on for 8 months. You get, so you can learn 6 weeks, but to be able to quit, to be able not to quit your job and put all of these things in place. That's why I said there are people who even before the classes finish, they've gotten job because they are doing the things we tell them to do. Yeah, so it's both ways. So even after the 6 weeks, you can decide to have those who want to use it as accountability partner. So we can journey through the 8 months together. You get, so it just
They are not paying more.
no. You are not paying for all that journey. No. It's just the 6 weeks. You are not paying for all of that. No. You are not. You're not paying more, please.
Okay, thank you, ma.
You're welcome. Please, any other question? For those of us who are interested, Obama, please can you drop the link for them so they can fill? Let's see. Classes is starting on the 28th February, right? That's the onboarding section. So we'll start with that. Please, your hand is raised up. Please go ahead with your question.
Please, the class is it once a week or what's the schedule for it, please?
Yes, please. It's once a week. That's why I said so once a week means our Saturday we can be on the call for 4 hours. But know that they record. I will record the classes, upload it. You watch it. They're just little clips, right? Not too much. Not too much of is well detailed, well necessary pertaining the particular practice you're doing, right? So we can on Saturday we can decide to, depending on how our classes last long, depending on our assimilation rate. So we can decide to say, okay, on Friday, on Saturday, 9 o'clock, and we'll finish 10 o'clock. It depends. Depending on our level of assimilation, depending on the fact that nobody had issues, depending that maybe you don't have questions. Because even while the class is going on, it's still our, what's it called, our mentorship section. Do you get? So if nobody has question within practical, there's no issue. So palafia, that means 10 o'clock, we are good to go. But once we have issue, because the end point is to be able to carry everybody along. Is to be able to carry everybody along. And most times we know that if we do it after work, some persons are tired, a lot of issues. So Saturday is the preferred timing for persons to attend class. And even if you miss Saturday, the class, of course, is recorded, uploaded to the Google Classroom, where you can go and still watch that. And of course, we give assignments. So you call it track your progress.
Okay, sorry to ask. Does it mean that this one is different from the other initial one that was for 3 months?
Which one was for 3 months?
The first one we did that, the first webinar we did that we did on January. I think it's a 3 months training, something like that.
So that's what it is. The webinar, that webinar is a 6 weeks, is a 6 weeks webinar. But that one, their classes are usually weekdays. Their classes are usually weekdays. I think on Thursdays and I think Saturday also, if I'm correct. But this one is strictly on Saturdays, where I upload the videos and go watch it. But those ones, they've started their classes already. I don't know if you're in that class, but I know they've started their classes.
Okay, ma. Okay, ma.
All right. Any other question, please? Any other questions? we can.
Sorry, my question is, for when you are doing the gate, you need to enter initially. Was
Sorry,
there
I
a way
can't
to
hear you.
enter initially?
I can't
Can
hear
you hear
you.
me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. So I said for the date, because I noticed the way it was entered initially, when you added the format, it changed. The numbers were totally different. So I don't know how it was entered initially.
I can't hear you. I wish I can hear you clearly. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so I was saying that for the date, the way it was entered initially, was there a way it was entered? Because I didn't understand when you added the format thing, the whole change. Because initially I was saying 40 something, and then when you added the format thing, the whole this thing changed. So I don't know if there was a way it was entered initially, so just to be aware about it.
The dates. Are you talking about the dates?
Yes, the date.
So the date wasn't proper, right? So what I did, I just selected the column, right, for that particular date and come down here and select short date, selected it, and that was it. So it came back to this date. Do you get? You just highlight the column, right? Highlight the column, come down to your number under this, click on it, and select short dates. Does that work?
Yes, it works. Thank you. But my question was like the way it was entered initially.
Yeah.
That's what I want to understand. How it was
Okay, so
entered initially.
it initially does depend on how the data was stored or the process it was stored or how it was gotten, right? That's why it's always good for you to clean your data, because if you don't clean your data, you'll definitely have wrong analysis. And in that process, we'll show you how to clean your data. Do you get it?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other question? Where are my Valentine gifts? We shifted this thinking that, okay, oh, by the time you people will come today, there will be Valentine gift. Nobody prepared Valentine gifts. It's not good. All right. Any other question, please? So we can wrap it up and call it a day. And you're going to have the recording of this. You're going to have the recordings to this. It will be sent to you via email and also via WhatsApp. So you have everything that is needed for, including the worksheet for you to lay your hands on and practice. And if there are no questions, I want to say thank you to everyone who attended this class for taking that time. At least we learned something, right? And data is beautiful. At least it's one field that has given me relevance. I used to be a web developer at some point, but stumbling into data gave me some sort of relevance and some sort of self-confidence in a way, you get. And I've been riding on that benefit and seeing how to using it to help SMEs grow their business and all of that. Thank you for your time. We hope to see most of you come on class, and I will handhold you personally, because I know the previous webinar they had their facilitators. So for this, the professionals and all will handhold you and journey through. It's okay for you not to know, but we are here to guide you. And also throughout the process, we equally have our mentorship section, what to expect, what not to expect, and how we can go about updating what needs to be done on our social media link to give us that relevance, and interview preparation, of course, how to get the job, and most importantly, we filling in that gap when it comes to eliminating those years of experience, especially for those persons who don't really have it. Thank you for your time, and we hope to see you in the class. In the absence of any other thing, if you have questions, please drop it on the group. Ubamara, are you still on this call? Hello? Okay. So just give me a few minutes. Just hold on, please. Let me just get some things. Just hold on. I will just drop the link here so I can have Just hold on. Thank you. So, all right. Okay. All right. That's fine. So I have dropped it on the group. Please kindly fill out that form for those persons who are interested. I've dropped it on the group for those persons who are interested. Yes, please, someone is asking question. Your hand is raised up, please.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
So you said the normal price is 400. How much
Yes.
is it now for the promo?
Sorry?
How much is it right now if I pay now? How much is it for the promo?
It's 200,000.
And it's a 6 weeks training.
Yeah, it's a 6 weeks training.
At the end of the 6 weeks, what tools will I be able to use?
Excel, Power BI, SQL. Those are the 3 tools you'll be using. At the end of it, problem solving. We have interview preparation. So basically the tools: Excel, Power BI, SQL.
How about if I want to use Local Studio? Is that something I'll be able to take up on my own if I learn these ones you're going to teach me?
Okay, so for Local Studio, basically what we are doing right now is to use these 3 tools. Then aside that, if you want to use that one, you then see how to go about it. I could equally guide you on how to do it, but basically we're just working with Excel, Power BI, and SQL to use it. Those are the 3 core tools that we are working with. So for your studio, are you looking at using Python or something?
I just know that these are some of the tools that I've come across in my work, and I will be interested in using them.
Please, what do you do? What do you do? Sorry?
I'm a product manager.
Oh, a product manager. Oh, okay, I get. But basically, for the purpose of this class, the tools we are using is Excel, Power BI, and SQL.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Your classes, what is typically the size of your classes?
The size of our classes.
How many
So
people are?
it all depends. Sometimes we have 20, sometimes we have 10, sometimes we have more than 20, depending. But we are more concerned about giving value rather than the size of the class.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other question, please, before we call it a day? All right. Thank you so much, guys. If you have any question, you can reach out or drop it on the group, and I will look at it and attend to you. Take care and do have a wonderful night rest. And happy Valentine. Even though you people did not tell me Valentine, happy Valentine. Happy Valentine from the depth of my heart. Do I have a heart? I don't know, but share happy Valentine anyway.
Yes.
Good night, everyone. Bye.